And hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to another setting of Darkness in Dublin, the vampire venue, where, well, as the sun set and all our mortal friends, the day dwellers, the sun dwellers, went home, and some probably went to bed, that's when the people gathered here awake, where they are once again alive, or as close as they come to being alive again. And was our local shadow, one of the rare local shadows in Dublin now, has been called by Charlotte Monroe, a member of the Clan of Roses. He doesn't exactly like her. He's not exactly in a good mood, but, well, work is work. And they have to get rid of the Sabat and Ishar. That's more important than his petty feelings of anger. So he'll come.
She'll actually have a private room reserved for the two of them, away from prying ears and eyes, and probably the room that that Katya spoke to Charlotte the evening prior.
So he'll Is she already in the room?
Yes, she is.
Okay, so he'll walk in. Good evening.
And when he walks in, she'll stand up and greet him in whichever way he's comfortable, and she'll actually pull out a seat for him, asking him to sit.
Thank you.
So,
And he'll sit.
so
You, yes, you wished to speak to me.
yes, I did. I wished to seek your advice on something.
He quite an eyebrow. My advice.
Yes, your advice. I know this is probably rather strange to you, but I am not above asking advice from people.
No, that is not what strikes me.
What is it that strikes you?
In only a few nights of you being in the city, you put Couch's life in danger. Someone I care about deeply, and you, well, endangered my curiosity about what the Salubri offered.
Hmm. Well, I do believe that I've been put into my place about that by my betters. There seems to be a little bit of a distaste in her mouth when she says that. Um, but it's neither here nor there. That's not why I asked you here, but I do appreciate you being open about your grievances with me. It was not my intention to put Katya in danger, of course. I bear her no ill will whatsoever. Seems to be a rather intriguing individual, rather lovely woman. I can see the appeal that you find in her. Um, I can even appreciate it, as it were. Uh, the Salubri, well, that's perhaps a conversation for another time, I think, but it possibly also might be part of the problem. You see, I mm, hmm, I find myself to be she's She seems to be taking the time to choose her words carefully around you, considering she probably knows that you're going to report back to Katya with every word she says. Most likely. I find myself to be in a rather intriguing situation with between the situation with Aishar and the situation with Clan Shamir. I know that's rather sweet and simple that only my final death, would appease them, I suppose. Yet I do have the boon that Prince Mithras granted to me, which is my sword and my shield anyway, at least for the time being. There are people in this city that I find myself caring about, that I find myself trusting above others. And
Indeed, you seemed quite close with the keeper.
not just Primogen Noir and I have established quite a connection with one another as well. We enjoy each other's company quite a lot.
Oh, see, Primogen who?
The Toreador Primogen,
Primogen yes.
Noir. And so,
yes, I met him. Sorry, go ahead.
It is part of the reason I asked you here. I asked you here for your advice on this. I know you were a member of the Sabbat at one point in time, given your clan.
Yes, my grandsire was once the archbishop here.
When you excommunicated, for lack of a better word, when you left, I don't imagine they just kicked you out. I imagine you left. When you met Katya, and I'm not sure who else, but when you met her, were you ever afraid of the Sabbat finding out?
Indeed. I was afraid they might use her to get to me. After all, that's what one of, Francis's enemies did.
She looks really kind of distressed a little bit. She seems to be in a. Usually she's neatly composed, etc., but she's not right now. How do you keep her safe? Like, how do you keep her safe from the people who could hurt you the most? In my position, I'm so afraid of losing the people that I trust the most in this city to I'm afraid of Clan Tremere finding out about the connection I have to the two of them. They're dear friends of mine, and how do you keep them safe?
I have the luxury of not being the only, I don't think, capable kindred in combat that cares about her. When she's not when she's not at the Chantry, she is often either with me or well, no, he's seneschal now, but she is often either with me or with Francis.
I mean, I'm aware of this, but it's kind of terrifying, to be honest with you, because like it's like you're constantly worried, like you're constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering if somebody's going to hurt them to get to you. I don't necessarily know that Clan Tremere would do that, but honestly, at this point, I won't put anything past them, really. And I appreciate Katya coming to me with that information in such good faith because Francis is so fond of me. After all, I mean, we do share a bloodline with each other, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he has to protect me. I appreciate that he does, in a way, but
Indeed, I would pay to see my sire and my brother as well. As far as our kind go, I would pay to have them burnt in front of me. And I'm sure they would, well, have quite a smile on their face if I was to suffer in front of them.
sure, but I suppose it's just simply a matter of wondering how you keep the ones that you care about safe in this situation. And I think a lot of the things that I've been doing is because I wish to protect people. I wish to keep them safe. Now, I don't deny that that I take pride in that. I take pride in keeping those people safe. But in the process, I'm dooming them.
You have to realize that you simply cannot keep them safe at all times. Not with the power of the people who want to harm you or harm them. They are simply too powerful to keep someone safe from them at all times. You can only do your best. Be with them, be sure that you have someone watching them, someone capable,
Yeah.
someone that has the strength to protect them.
You'll actually notice that she has blood in her eyes, like she's about to cry. And she pulls out a handkerchief and she wipe away the tears. And she'll kind of lean back in her seat a little bit. She'll just kind of look at Ambroise like she's trying to she's trying to kind of figure him out a little bit. But she'll just say she'll just thank him for his advice, and she moves on to a different topic. The situation with Aishar is unfortunately a mess that I helped cause, and a mess that I wish to help clean up. It's Do you think Katya could be convinced that I mean well and that I wish to help her in whatever endeavor I can?
Is this really what you wish? Do you really only wish to help her?
I wish to make things right because I'm part of the reason they're so fucked up right now. Like, yes, I killed the Voivode. Yes, I took his head. But if I hadn't, somebody else probably would have. I think I had a thought earlier this evening. Francis, excuse me, Seneschal Beaumont was dominated by Mithras to kill the Voivode, to kill the Archbishop. But the thing here is it possible? And I know that we'll never know whether or not this is the case, but do you think it's possible that by Francis being dominated by Mithras, that in a way, vicariously, Mithras's pride would have carried over if Francis had killed him?
As you say, there is no sure way to know, but I do not think so. Even if it was the will of Mithras, he would have been killed by Francis, and Francis would have done it because he had to, because he was commanded to. The action still would have. Sorry, the only thing I'll say, the action still would have been made by Francis.
She sighs. Like she looks like she's pondering that thought, like it's a big what if to her, because if she didn't do it, somebody else was going to do it, and there was still the possibility of someone's pride getting in the way of the killing, and it still probably would have taken place. There's so much that we're so unsure of, you know. God, you know, I asked the Anarchs for help in the fight at Waterford, and they showed up. They did. And it was glorious. It was absolutely glorious. They came in with flamethrowers. But what do you expect of Anarchs, of course?
Okay, so, like in character, you're crying too. So is that like also in character? Like, is she crying as much as you are?
I'm not crying. I've just got allergies.
Okay. Well, you see,
Yeah.
I mean, you sound like you're crying. I should
Oh
say.
no, I just have allergies. It's
Okay.
really bad. 'Cause I'm still kind of
Is
getting over a cold.
how much is she crying? Because you said there was a like tear of blood before. Is it like a bit more now?
She's kind of cleared up a little bit, but she's still kind of there's still a little bit of blood in her eyes. But she's wiping it away with a dark red handkerchief. Hold on. Sorry, I had to cough. I didn't want to cough into the microphone.
So yeah, you'll watch her.
There's just so much uncertainty, and I'm wondering if this trip to Aishar's hometown is going to be worth it, because if it's not, then we're wasting time on something that's just we're wasting on time on something that there's not going to be any certainty that it's going to be effective or that's going to help. I know that the Red
Oh,
Alistar showed up, but
a true name is effective. I can reassure you of that.
I mean, if we can find out a true name of Aishar's true name, then that may be a way to bring him down. And not to mention that Red Alistar bitch that showed up the other night. But I don't want to treat you like a messenger boy, but because you deserve more respect than that. And if you wish for me to talk to or tell Katya this myself, I certainly will. But tell her I want to help fix the mess that I made, and that
I,
in my heart of hearts, I do mean well. Don't do the things that I do to cause pain to others or suffering or to cause unnecessary chaos. I don't do that. I just don't do that. I don't have it in me. I want to help. I want to help clean this up, and if I can, I will. You just have to tell me how. You just have to tell me when, and I'll give it my all. I will, because if there is any chance of the world ending, that's going to that's an open threat to everything I care about right now. And I can't lose that. As kindred, we suffer loss more than most. I know we can't love, we can't feel certain things, but
we can. And he gets actually kind of frowned at you. We can love, do not take that for granted.
sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
He said, we can love, do not take that for granted. And he gets like, he's staring at you when he does. He's staring at her when he says this.
Perhaps there's a
I
way.
gave up my ability to feel this. And I regret it every night. Do not ever say we cannot love in front of me.
Did you give it up? For what reason?
Well, it wasn't so long ago, still new to this city. Everyone still saw me as the expert, but no one trusted me. There was an auction, and well, there was something that Prince Mithras wanted. His
What was
sheriff
that?
was here. A vial of blood. Well, some guys, there was some of. No, it wasn't a vial, because it was some of his blood on a piece of cloth. It had gotten quite high, but this was a special kind of auction. We didn't auction money, which auctioned anything else, anything you can think of. I gave up my ability to feel love. It now, as it was said to me it was said in front of me, and you were there by Salubri, I still have it in my heart, but I cannot feel it. It hurts. It hurts more than any wound. I have been burnt to the point where I was within an inch of my own life being taken from me. If I was mortal, I would have died many times over. But knowing I have love in my heart and I cannot feel it,
I can't imagine
knowing
how
I
hard it is to that.
knowing I have it for Katja, but I cannot feel it hurts more than this. Do not ever say we cannot love in front of me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
And
It's a,
he also take a handkerchief as he wipes away some tears.
how can you get it back?
I'm thinking of a way. The man who has it is still in this town. I just need something he wants. Memories, something, a true name, not Ishar's. We need Ishar's for something else. But something valuable, something he'll want.
Who
And
is
then I
he?
can trade it. Oh, he has a pawn shop. And I see, I forgot his name, but he's, yeah. Sorry, he's a actually fairy tale character in real, sorry.
Oh, Rumpelstiltskin.
It goes, well, you might know him as Rumpelstiltskin. He's quite famous in that with this name.
Her eyes kind of just bug out of her head, like you're talking in Arabic to her or something like that. Like she's surprised and she doesn't really comprehend what that means. Like, of course she's read fairy tales, etc., but she's just kind of surprised when you actually say that to her.
Yes, Rumpelstiltskin is real.
I'm sure fairies are too. That's interesting. She looks like she's thinking about something.
You have your mind on something, Charlotte.
I do.
Go ahead.
Can you give me the address of this shop?
Sure. And he'll give her the address.
Okay. I'd like to visit this place, I think.
Indeed, I'm sure there are many things to be found there.
Yeah, sure. And,
Is this all you wish to speak to me about?
for the time being, yes. I want to have an idea. I have an idea, but I don't necessarily know that it's the right time for such an idea to be taking place.
I wonder what you mean.
If I were to help you get this back, do you think get this back for you and for Katya? Do you think Katya would be able to convince the inner circle, inner council, whatever, to remove the price on my head?
She'd do what she can, but the inner circle folk clan are a stubborn bunch.
Usually stubborn bunches can be swayed given the right price or the right motivation.
Well, I'm not sure if she could, but I do think she would do her best at it.
I'll try. See what I can do. I don't necessarily need, well, I suppose assurances would be something I would like to have, but we'll see.
And he'll actually smile, a genuine smile. Thank you.
To be honest with you, it's the least I can do, considering. And I'm not guaranteeing anything. I can't. But I'll try.
And he'll nod. If you manage, I'll be grateful.
I'm sure.
With that, I think I'll take my leave. Thank you. And he'll show courtesy.
It's lovely to see you again.
I did enjoy this conversation more than I thought I would. And then he'll show courtesy and leave.
Okay. And I guess we can cut our scene here.